Greetings everyone, Core here, and I got my second box for Stanley's box. And let's go ahead and get right into it. I've actually already opened this because I started the video, but unfortunately I still have a bit of a cough from when I was sick, and it was interfering with that video a little too much, so I took a little break, started to redo this, and the first thing out of the box is the shirt, which is Stanley Excelsior, which has, you can see here, the Empire State Building in his eyes of New York, New York, which that's probably the best suit, probably the one city that is known, especially for Marvel, for Stan Lee and stuff. The Avengers work out of there, SpiderMan works out of there. There's a nice little logo for a Stan Lee box right on the bottom corner of this. Probably gonna actually wear this tonight because I am going to see Logan. If anyone's interested, there'll be a video of that up later. Let's go ahead and put that there. Next thing out of the box was, I already opened it, unfortunately, because, like I said, second time doing this video. It's a metal Thor from it's a metals diecast, which is a pretty cool Thor, to say the least. Kind of wish he had his helmet in a way, but I'm pretty sure there's like a variant where he has his helmet for sure. It's interesting to see his hammer. I think it's the most interesting thing, just because this hammer is supposed to be metal. So it's one of the few things that actually is the least painted on him, because they keep that metal look to it, and it's actually pretty cool. I've been looking into these guys for a while, just haven't quite pulled the trigger in buying one, to say the least. And of course they do have the little intro that talks about everything that's in the box, but I want to see what's actually in it. And the next thing, which they advertised, is the Q fig of Spider-Man, upside down, of course, taking this picture. And let's open it so we could see him a little better. And I gotta say, so far as the Q figs, which, I feel like some of them are hit or misses, some of them are really good, some of them are meh. So far the ones in the boxes have been really cool, to say the least. And this one's actually pretty, I'm gonna say, this is really cool because he actually sways a little bit. I think that's pretty unique, actually, because it feels like, yeah, it's actually rubber for where it connects to Spider-Man there. And that's pretty cool, I gotta say, because it gives a little sway to him. It actually makes it feel more, webby, more Spidey, of course. That's gonna be really cool. I'm gonna put that right next to my Captain America from the last box. That's really neat. And supposedly there was some of these were actually autographed by Stan Lee, but unfortunately I did not get one. I do like the little cutout that they have of New York, which seems to be the theme so far in this box, is probably New York Avenger, something like that. Because you got Spidey, you got Thor, which was Avenger, works out of New York sometimes. You got the shirt that has the Empire State Building, not Strike Building. And of course you have the official Excelsior Stan Lee, which of course the last box had these scattered out. But now they have it in a nice little package, so you don't dirty your box. Which, that's pretty hilarious. Next thing, you get your card. Which is your fun fact, which is birth of bullpen bulletins. When I was young, I read The Adventures of Jerry Todd, a series of books written by Edward Edson Lee. No relation. The back pages of each book featured letters to the author, which he would respond to in a friendly manner. Now, I don't know if I consciously remembered those books when I set out to do the bullpen page, or if I was unconsciously influenced and only afterwards realized where I got the idea from. I do know that talking to the readers informally seemed like the natural thing to do. So that's really cool to see some of the things that helped influence Stan Lee throughout his years, and helped develop some things that have kind of become the norm in a way. But next we got a nice little pencil art of the comic variant for Monsters Unleashed, #1, I believe, with Stanley, of course. And this is actually limited. It's out of 2,500 prints, and I got 2386, one of the last ones, because this is the second box I actually ordered, and it's funny because I got it before my first box, and they were almost sold out on these, so that's really cool that I got one of the last few, almost last one. You know, it's pretty close so far. I'll put that there. And next, that's pretty nice. They've actually been working on the packaging, it looks like, because now they got a nice little, for people that order comics online, usually get your comics in a box like this, which is where they actually put their comics this time, and that's actually pretty cool. Which the first thing we got is a Marvel's Masterworks, the Rawhide Kid, and I believe this is just volume. Yeah, this is one of the volumes collecting Rawhide Kid, number 17 to 25. Kind of wish they started from the beginning, but of course these are probably just stories of, you know, a storyline that they always like to do as far as trade paperbacks. Definitely an older comic, I'll say for sure. Not sure if I'll read it soon. I have a lot to read, actually. And the next, you get your variant covers for the comic, Monsters Unleashed. Which I gotta admit, I wasn't too interested to actually read these. But now that I have the first issues, I'll probably definitely take a peek at it and see what's up with this storyline. I know a little bit about it. It's pretty much these monsters come to Earth randomly, and also there's monsters on Earth that seem to fight back, I believe, or something. Not too sure, but it's one of those crossover events. But it's a short crossover event, so it's nothing too crazy from what I've seen. And the last thing out of the box is How to Draw Comics: The Marvel Way by Stan Lee. And this is one of the first books, I believe, that he did, because this is from 2000. Yeah. Wow, this is really this is copyrighted back in 1978. So this is probably one of the first ones he helped to work on, as far as you know, the how to draw comics. Because I do have another one with How to Draw Comics by Stan Lee, which was, I believe, his last one that he did. That kind of got me started on the whole collecting for Stan Lee stuff and comics, nonetheless, because that was the first Stan Lee autograph item I've gotten, and this one looks like this is the first one. So now I got the first and the last, you know, How to Draw Comics so far from Stan Lee, and that's kind of cool. So I'm definitely probably gonna draw this with my other one, just so I can show how the collection. And I actually might. It kind of ties into the sketchbook that came with the first box, so maybe I'll take a read and check it out to see. Maybe it'll help me, you know, learn a little bit of how to draw. And still haven't quite started that yet. I haven't had too much time, but yeah, that's the Stan Lee box. Because when you look inside, enough said. There's nothing left. But so far, it was a great box. Once again, if you're interested, check out thestanleybox.com. These are a little bit more pricier than some of the other box subscriptions, especially if you see my Funko unboxings and stuff. But what's inside is definitely worth it. They also have a discount code for if you're interested down below. It'll be for $5 off if you're interested in subscribing. And if not, hope you enjoyed watching. So until next time, guys. Later.